The story of Egypt begins in the sands of time long before the pyramids cast their long shadows across the desert. Thousands of years ago, nomadic people roamed the Nile Valley, drawn to its life-giving waters. These early Egyptians were skilled hunters and gatherers, living in harmony with the river's natural rhythms. Over time, these nomads began to settle down, cultivating crops along the Nile's fertile banks. They built villages and developed new technologies like irrigation to control the river's floods and harness its power. This marked a turning point in Egyptian history as agriculture allowed for larger populations and more complex societies. As villages grew into towns and cities, so too did the need for organization and leadership. Powerful rulers emerged, uniting the upper and lower parts of the Nile Valley under their control. These were the first pharaohs, god-kings who held absolute power and ushered in the era of dynastic Egypt. With the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BC, the stage was set for the rise of one of the world's most enduring civilizations. The pharaohs, with their divine right to rule, would oversee millennia of cultural achievement, technological innovation, and territorial expansion. The story of ancient Egypt was about to begin. The Old Kingdom, around 2686 to 2181 BC, is perhaps the most iconic period of ancient Egyptian history. This era witnessed the construction of the Giza pyramids, monumental tombs that stand as testaments to the pharaoh's power and the sophistication of Egyptian engineering. The pyramids were not just burial places, but also symbols of the pharaoh's divine status and their connection to the sun god Ra. The Old Kingdom was a time of stability and prosperity. The pharaohs, considered living gods, ruled with absolute authority. They commanded vast resources and manpower, which they used to build temples, pyramids, and other grand projects that glorified their reign and honored the gods. Egyptian society was highly stratified during the Old Kingdom. At the top was the pharaoh, followed by the royal family, priests, nobles, and government officials. Scribes, skilled craftsmen, and artists enjoyed a relatively high status due to their specialized skills. At the bottom of the social hierarchy were farmers, laborers, and slaves who made up the majority of the population. Despite its grandeur and achievements, the Old Kingdom eventually crumbled. A combination of factors, including weak pharaohs, drought, and internal strife, led to a period of decentralization and decline known as the First Intermediate Period. However, the legacy of the Old Kingdom, particularly its monumental architecture and sophisticated religious beliefs, would continue to influence Egyptian culture for centuries to come. After a period of instability, Egypt was reunited under a new line of pharaohs from Thebes. This marked the beginning of the Middle Kingdom around 2055 to 1650 BC, an era characterized by renewed prosperity, artistic flourishing, and military expansion. The Middle Kingdom pharaohs restored order, strengthened central authority, and embarked on ambitious building programs. One of the most significant developments of the Middle Kingdom was the rise of a new religious idea, the democratization of the afterlife. While previously only the pharaoh and a select few could hope to achieve immortality, now all Egyptians, regardless of social status, could aspire to a happy afterlife by living a virtuous life. The Middle Kingdom also saw a resurgence of trade and diplomacy. Egyptian expeditions ventured into Nubia to the south, seeking gold, ivory, and other valuable resources. Trade relations were established with the Levant and other parts of the eastern Mediterranean, bringing new goods and ideas into Egypt. However, the Middle Kingdom's prosperity was not to last. Internal strife combined with the arrival of a new foreign power, the Hyksos, led to the eventual collapse of the Middle Kingdom and ushered in another period of fragmentation known as the Second Intermediate Period. The New Kingdom, around 1550 to 1069 BC, is often considered the golden age of ancient Egypt. It was during this period that Egypt reached the zenith of its power and influence, becoming a mighty empire that stretched from Nubia in the south to Syria in the north. The New Kingdom pharaohs were ambitious conquerors, keen to expand Egypt's borders and secure its dominance in the region. Among the most famous New Kingdom pharaohs were Thutmose III, a brilliant military strategist who led successful campaigns into the Levant, and Ramses II, known for his long reign, monumental building projects, and the famous Battle of Kadesh against the Hittites. The New Kingdom was also a time of great religious upheaval. Akhenaten, a pharaoh who ruled in the mid-14th century BC, attempted to overturn centuries of religious tradition by promoting the worship of Aten, the sun disk, as the one true god. This period of monotheism, known as the Amarna period, was short-lived and ultimately unsuccessful. After Akhenaten's death, traditional religious practices were restored. Despite its military triumphs and cultural achievements, the New Kingdom eventually declined. Internal strife, economic problems, and the growing power of rival empires like the Assyrians and Persians weakened Egypt's grip on power. By the end of the New Kingdom, Egypt had entered a period of decline that would see it fall under the control of a succession of foreign powers.